Hi, I'm Dario Cortez. Berkeley College believes that all citizens need to be informed about the important issues that affect our daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and the partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of Caucus, New Jersey has been provided by activists in cooperation with the American Medicine Chest Challenge, Steve and Elaine Pozicki, Meridian Health, Berkeley College, QualCare Inc., a local managed care company covering 750,000 New Jersey residents, community education centers, and by Adler Aphasia Center, helping stroke and brain injury survivors recover their speech. Promotional support provided by NJ.com, Small News, Big News, True Jersey, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and its monthly magazine, New Jersey Business.
Welcome to Caucus, New Jersey. I'm Steve Adubato. Joining me here in the studio are three very special and concerned mothers who have decided to share their personal journey in dealing with children who have tragically battled opiate addiction. They are Abby Boxman, who lost her son Justin to an accidental heroin overdose; Meg Dupont-Parisi, whose son Patrick passed away after a battle with an addiction to prescription medications, which led to heroin; Donna DeStefano has a daughter who has been in recovery for 2 years; and finally, Angela Valenti, Executive Director of the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey. First of all, I want to thank all of you for being with us, particularly the moms who are here with us.
Thank you for having us.
No one can even comprehend what you've experienced, but the first question is, why have you decided to participate, not just in this program, but there's a much larger initiative you've been a part of to help others? Why?
We were blindsided by Patrick's addiction, and it happened so rapidly that while we were involved in the middle of it, we didn't even realize what was happening. It just truly blindsided us. So what we did was we gathered up the best help that we could. We got the best support, the best doctors, the best rehabilitation centers that we could find. And we worked aggressively with them. But unfortunately, even with all of that, we were not successful in saving him.
Tell us about Patrick.
Patrick was a charismatic, handsome, funny, sweet young man, talented, loved the outdoors, loved to fish. We live on the bay, and he enjoyed the beach and all that came with it. Very mechanical. We were grooming him into our family business. He was on the order desk in sales, doing well. But we really had no idea what he was doing.
No signs.
We felt that he was smoking pot. And then attitudes started to shift slightly, personality shifts.
For example?
Short with us, secretive with us.
Not his
usual persona at all, no. But we did not realize that he had transitioned into opiates, which were OxyContin, is what he was doing, which he was buying on the street. And the natural progression from OxyContin is into heroin, and it kills you. And that's exactly what it did to him.
Abby, Justin.
Yes.
Was how old?
Justin was, he just turned 21, not even a month before.
Describe him.
Justin was amazing. I have 3 sons. Justin is my middle son, and he was the gel that kept everybody together.
He kept everybody together?
He kept everybody together, yes. Everybody loved Justin. He was the life of the party. When he walked in the room, everybody knew he was there. He was a big athlete, you know, when he was in high school.
Wasn't he the captain?
He was captain of the football team at Colton High School, and he just he was that kid. Everybody, you know, was friends with everybody. Everybody knew him. He was that kid.
What did you see?
You know, Justin left for college, and that's when we noticed transitions. We noticed small things. But as Meg said, we thought it was pot. We didn't know anything about opiates. We knew nothing about prescription drugs. We weren't aware of that there was an epidemic going on out there. And you know, as hindsight, as we look back and we found out, you know, you look back during the time that you're going through it, it's so hard to see. And now that you can look back on it, you see so much more. But during that time, you know, you see different signs that, as a parent, it's hard to admit to say, wow, you know, my kid's using drugs, my kid's a drug addict.
Give us one sign, in retrospect, one thing you saw.
His personality changed. When you looked at him, it was just, he wasn't there, if I could explain.
But he was the life of the party.
That was gone. He lost all his friends. He didn't speak to anybody anymore. Nobody wanted to be with him anymore. And where everybody couldn't wait to be with him, it was a total turn after that.
Social dynamics changed.
The social dynamics totally changed. His friends were not who they were. All his friends that he went to high school with, there was a bunch of them. They considered themselves the elite eight. That changed. He started hanging out with other people that were, of course, you know, they were all using drugs.
Donna, your daughter is in recovery?
2 years and 4 months.
Go ahead.
So, you know, recovery is possible sometimes. Of course, if it doesn't start, you don't have to stop it. And that's one reason I'm in the prevention field now. I was an interior designer, and I did a total switch around. I'm hoping to encourage and empower other people, parents and grandparents and anybody who will listen.
Tell us about your daughter.
She was such a great kid. She is a great kid. It's amazing how all of our stories, though different, are the same. You know,
what's similar?
Signs, like, for instance, changing friends. That was one of the big things that I noticed in ninth grade.
Ninth grade?
Ninth grade. The friends changed, total change. You know, she played soccer. She did a lot of different things. She was always like that great kid. She's smart, but her friends changed. And her old friends didn't want to hang around with her, and she just started to be, same thing, short, nasty, didn't want to go to school. She was skipping, just things that were so out of character.
Did you find something?
I did. I found, in her soccer bag, I found Smirnoff, a bottle, a giant bottle. And that was the first time that it opened my eyes. And I couldn't believe it.
You confronted her?
I did.
And
But she said that it wasn't hers. And, you know, that's a typical thing. You want to believe it, but deep down, you know, it's definitely not true. And from then on, little things started to happen. The smoking pot. You know, we all say that you don't just wake up one day and become a heroin addict. There are signs, and not everyone will turn to heroin, but they're definitely going to start there. And it just progressed. It progressed. And when she was 18, she moved out. And she said she didn't have to live with me anymore. And it was really hard. It was hard.
And now it's 2
years and 4 months. And she's doing great. Full-time job. She has her own apartment. Wow. Yeah, she's doing great.
Obviously, we're all rooting for her.
Thank you.
Obviously. Angela, you played a huge role in bringing these moms together. And we're going to see Elaine Pizicki in just a minute. And she'll share a little bit about her perspective, but also talking more about the signs that we need to be aware of. What is your role in this?
Well, Steve, we thought that, first of all, this message
the partnership.
The partnership for a drug-free New Jersey.
And by the way, we've been partnering with you and your team for the last several years, so go ahead.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that continued support.
It's the other way around, but go ahead.
But at the partnership, we thought that the message of these moms had to be shared because they were important messages about how this can happen to anyone. It can happen in wonderful families, loving families. It can happen in suburban neighborhoods, in rural neighborhoods, in urban neighborhoods.
Economically comfortable families.
Across the board. And we wanted to make sure that people throughout the state of New Jersey, especially moms and dads, that they understood that this was something that they had to be aware of, that they had to be knowledgeable. This is potentially could be entering into their homes. And we developed a video which 4 moms were featured in it, and they told their stories, and they told how important it was for early intervention, how important it was to become knowledgeable before it begins or at the very onset, and that it's crucial to get help and get support, and that there's no shame in this. This is a disease, like any other disease, and that we have to be able to, as a state, understand that we're at an epidemic level. And through this video, and I think we have a clip of Elaine speaking about some of the...
Why don't you set this up, because actually at the gala that I was honored to be a part of and host with you and your colleagues, Elaine and Steve were there with all of you. That's how I met. I remember you were not there, but we were talking about you, and we were talking about the idea of doing this. And I saw the video for the first time, and the fourth mom is, in fact, Elaine. And Steve Pizicki and I talked about this as well. Set this up, because you're much better at doing this than I am. Set it up so that we can put it in context.
Well, I think Elaine speaks very powerfully about some of the signs she missed.
With their
son, Stephen, and how she wished she knew then what she knows now. And she wanted to share this information through this video with other families about signs that she thought were unusual, but she didn't link them to heroin abuse.
And they lost their son, Stephen.
They did several years ago.
And this is Elaine being part of this conversation by video, no less powerful.
Some of the signs were silly little things. One day he was in the kitchen and he was scratching himself and he was itchy, and he goes, "I'm so itchy," and I'm running to get the hydrocortisone. But it's a reaction from the opiates. They're so strong. And other things were just being irritable. When the heroin, which I didn't realize, we were all having dinner for my mom for her birthday, and he was at the table and he was nodding out like this. And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, he's so tired. Why didn't he go to bed last night? Well, he had to watch that third movie, and then he would talk like this, but then he would just start talking normal, and I didn't realize that nodding is really the #1 sign for heroin. Opiates, and if I had known that, I would have known a little earlier that that's what he was doing.
Wow. We thank Elaine and Stephen for being part of this. Talk about how long are people in treatment, and are they there long enough?
Absolutely
Talk about
not.
this, and I know you care deeply about this, all of you do.
No, not at all. You know, when you, the biggest fight is to get your loved one into treatment, and you're fighting with insurance companies. You know, the most that you're going to get is a 5 to 7 day detox, and then 30 days. 30 days is not enough.
Did you fight with your son?
I fought. My son was willing to go into treatment, but us trying to fight to keep him there was, I remember,
the fight? He needed
my
it.
husband fighting with them and saying, when my son dies, I will be calling you, because they denied us treatment, because they had enough treatment. They said, according to them, he was fine.
It can run between $30,000 and $50,000 for a month, 30 days. So a family that doesn't have cooperative insurance has a real legitimate problem.
How long should it be? Do you think, is it 6 months?
You got to do at least at minimum 6 months to a year.
Yeah,
I look at it, right, and I look at it and I say, these kids have not been using, they've been using for years.
Yeah,
so
right.
how can you say they're going to get better in a day or 30 days? No, they need
Talk to
6
folks,
to 9
I'm sorry for
months.
interrupting. Talk to folks, Javier, in terms of what would really go on for a longer period of time. Describe what the benefits would be of a longer period in treatment.
As I said, when people go into treatment, they need a sufficient amount of time because they didn't use for a day. So you need
What's going on in treatment so people understand?
They need to rebuild their skills. A lot of them, you know, the time that they're using, 16, 17 years old, mentally, because the brain, the way that the brain works, they haven't progressed, so they're still at that age. They lose their life skills. They lose all those things.
Right.
They have to rebuild. They have to, you know, rebuild themselves, you know, physically, mentally.
It takes a good 15 months, months for your brain chemistry, for your brain to start even thinking normally. There's MRIs out there. You can Google it or ask a doctor. And it takes that long for you to so-called be normal. And if you're in treatment for a very long time, you're getting counseling, you're getting therapy, you're learning life skills, like Abby said.
Absolutely.
It becomes the norm, just like any other habit.
Right.
You know, it takes a long time for you to be addicted to something, and then it takes a longer time for you to get well. And people don't seem to understand that. Like the insurance companies, we've done that. 30 days and then they come out.
Not enough.
It's not enough.
Well, you're in and out of, I want to be clear, your son's in several?
5.
5.
Justin was only, he was in one facility because it was only 6 months, twice.
Right.
I was two years.
Explain that to us. Help us understand. Was it
so,
in and out too short a period of time?
He went for the 30 days, and there are some that are so much better than others. There are
Did you
some
learn that by trial? I'm sorry, for
by
treatment
trial,
facilities. You just had to learn it by.
Yeah, by
Do you have
trial.
any advice for parents you know who are watching right now, thinking about it?
Take your time and really research and get many opinions. Go to people that specialize in this.
So Meg, don't try to figure this out on your own.
No, you need help. It's so overwhelming, and you need to talk to people, and we need to break down the stigma that's attached with this.
Talk about it. By the way, you're doing it right now.
It's a disease. I didn't believe it when I was battling it with my son.
You didn't believe it?
When I was in it with my son from day to day, I truly felt that he could stop. If he just made up his mind to stop, he could do it.
And as a parent, you still have that hope.
And as a parent, I wanted to have that control and make him.
Well, you think it's bad behavior.
Yes.
Like, just stop it.
Stay on this.
So
you didn't think he was sick.
I did not
You didn't think it
believe
was a disease.
it was a disease.
You
I thought it was a choice.
if he had stronger will?
I thought it was a choice.
And what evolved for you?
Well, at the same time that my son is getting therapy and in treatment, I was too, to figure out how to go the next road with him.
Which was necessary.
Where we would progress. I participated in every parent program of every rehab that we've been to.
It's education.
They insist on it. But some are much better than others. And don't waste your time on the ones that aren't going to give you the results that you need.
And you came away seeing it how now?
I came away, what?
How do you see it differently?
Differently? I am angry with the wasted time and money that we spent on certain rehabs, because truly they are mills. It's a business. There are some that are absolutely fabulous, and I'm very appreciative of them. I only wish that he could have stayed longer.
I think we have to remember about the follow-up as well. If you're in a 30-day rehab and that's all you can get, you have to follow up. You have to go to an intense outpatient program. At least, that could be a 5-day program where you go for a good amount of hours per day. And you're getting that counseling and that follow-up and medicated.
But you have to advocate that as the parent?
You do.
Well,
absolutely.
A lot of the time they will offer it.
But if they don't, you're saying you have to be, dare I say, the quarterback on this.
You should
have to lead
definitely be
it.
aware of that.
It has
But,
to happen.
Listen,
you have to be
the bottom line is, too, they have to want it. They have to want the treatment. And they have to want to get better, because you as a parent want it, obviously. You bring them there. You do everything you can. But if they don't sometimes, and not all the time, because obviously if they could stay in a longer time, it would be great. But if they don't want it, it's very tough to get them in.
Abby, jump back in here. They really have to want it?
They do have to want it. I agree with that 100%. But because they're, that's why I'm saying the 30 days is not enough.
Yes.
They need so much more longer time to be able to, be cognizant of what they want. They don't know what they want when they're using or during that 30 days.
Exactly.
After that 30 days, they're like a deer in the headlights. They have no idea what's going on.
So they need you to advocate.
Absolutely.
Describe advocate. What does it mean?
As a loved one, you have to advocate for your loved one.
Describe advocate.
We have to go out. We have to find the resources. We have to know what's going on. We have to be the one that's going to guide them in the right direction. Yes, they have to want to be able to do it.
You got to fight with the insurance company.
You have to get your gloves on, because at that time, the thing is that you're learning as you're going along too.
Right. What do you know?
Because you don't know. We knew nothing. Who knew about this? I didn't know. Yes, I have to admit, my mother was an alcoholic, but this was totally different. And my mother did actually. She passed away of an opiate Her body went into respiratory failure from opiate use for many, many years. So addiction does run in my family. But it was my mother, it wasn't my child. And I didn't know the difference. Never thought this would happen to my son. And when you're going through this, it's like you're in a fight, you're in survival mode for yourself and for your family, because it doesn't just affect you, it's affecting your child, it's affecting your siblings, it's affecting you as a whole. I mean,
that's why everyone has to be treated.
Marriage, everything. There's so many things.
Steve, the website, Talk Now New Jersey,
let's put up Talk Now New Jersey team.
Not only does it feature the video of the moms talking about how important it is to find signs and to get help, but there's also resources on that site.
What kind of resources? People see it right now on the screen. They go to that website. What do they find, Angela?
Well, they'll find that there are treatment options in the state of New Jersey.
Treatment options?
Facilities that offer treatment in the state. There's hotlines that are available. There's support groups. I know we have some support groups. Some of the moms run support groups as well. And all of these are available on this website for parents to be able to utilize. There's also a test for parents to become. What kind of test? Well, we wanted to see the knowledge base of parents. We wanted to be able to help them understand the issue. Many parents still don't recognize prescription drugs and opiate abuse as a potential problem that they might have to face. And this website and this test allows them to understand the consequences.
Give us one example of a question.
Well, the addictive qualities of prescription drugs. There are many prescription drugs, opiate-based drugs, that can become very addictive in a very quick period of time, and we want to make sure parents are aware of that. One of the things that we're doing as well with the partnership with our moms is we're in Trenton with our legislators, encouraging them to pass legislation that one of the bills that's pending would require a doctor to have a conversation with a parent of a child or with a patient about some of the medications that are being prescribed, the addictive qualities of those medications, and also the fact that there may be some options.
Is that Senator Vitale who's leading that effort?
Yes, Senator Vitale
is the chair of the Senate Health Committee.
That's correct.
There's a whole package of bills.
Yeah. There's 21 bills together.
And this, what we're talking about in this program, we've had this discussion on Capitol Report, our sister program, but they're not all just public policy questions. A lot of them are about public awareness. A lot of them are about what physicians need to do that they may or may not be doing right now, right?
PMP program.
That's right.
Prescription monitoring program.
The prescription monitoring program, that's right, a whole range of issues.
It's actually been very successful. I believe it's at least 70% now.
What is that?
In New Jersey,
what is the prescription monitoring program, real quick, so people know?
What that is, it's a listing of every prescription that's prescribed onto a computer database, which doctors have access to. So it gives a doctor an opportunity to learn whether or not a patient might be coming in doctor shopping, purchasing pills to sell,
that's right,
or to use, to abuse.
Okay, let me ask you this. We've got about 3 minutes left.
I know what I wanted to say.
Just any time.
We did not, I don't think any of us realized what OxyContin was when we started hearing about OxyContin. We didn't realize it was an opiate. We didn't realize, we were told it's a painkiller. We just didn't know. We just truly did not know until we got into this. And I think the average person doesn't realize that. And they're in your medicine cabinet, and your kids have access to them. And when they come to your house, not only your kid, but everybody else's kid that's in the house has access to these drugs, and they generally are in everybody's medicine cabinet.
And people have to know really to lock them up.
You need to get a safe.
Talk about that.
Absolutely, it's imperative that people have to know to dispose of them properly. You don't throw them in the garbage. There's drop-off locations throughout the state of New Jersey, which can be found on the website. Also, they need to know that when they're in their homes, to lock them up, to keep them in lock boxes. Don't put them above the cabinet, above your microwave. That's not where they belong. Don't keep them in your medicine cabinet, because not only you, and it doesn't only have to be a child. It can be an adult that's going to go through your cabinets also. It's the clean. It could be even, realtors or, having open homes, and people are going through their cabinets.
Let me ask you this. You've decided to be a part of this extraordinary, powerful effort to make others aware, together with Elaine, Pazicki, and Stephen, but particularly to the moms. You've got a minute left. You want to accomplish what?
I want to accomplish this. I want to remove the stigma that's attached with drug addiction, and I want parents to know that they need to be aggressive and they need to not be politically correct. They need to get on their Facebook pages, get on their kids' text messaging, find out what's going on in their lives, and be aware and deal with it.
10 seconds.
I need to save lives. I don't want any other parents to go through what me and my family are going through right now in our life.
A few seconds.
Education. Education is key. You have to know what to do in case of a crisis. You have to know what to do to educate yourself and learn about the dangers.
I can't thank you enough. You've done extraordinary public service, particularly for all of us who are parents and don't know where to turn. I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. N13 for WNET, NJTV, and WHYY. Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by Activists in cooperation with the American Medicine Chest Challenge, Steve and Elaine Pozicki, Meridian Health, Berkeley College, Qualcare Inc., Community Education Centers, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.
Imagine you're enjoying your child's baseball game. As hard as it is to believe, one of the 9 children on the field may be abusing prescription drugs and getting them right out of your family's medicine chest. Join the American Medicine Chest Challenge by taking inventory and securing your medicine, safely disposing of your unwanted and expired medicine, and finally, talk to your kids. Visit AmericanMedicineChest.com to find out how.